Make no mistake, if you are going to win at life, then you've got to learn from the inside out and not the outside in.
Scoggins is a best-selling author.
He challenges people to break through their obstacles, coming from a broken home, years of struggle,
to launching what would become a multi-million-dollar construction company.
Ladies and gentlemen, Scoggins in the house.
I've seen a lot of people struggling recently, especially in 2020 and 2021, trying to ultimately figure out how to control the limiting beliefs, the negative mindsets, and many of the limitations that they've got inside of their own body or inside of their own mind. And after doing what I've been doing for a number of years, one of the things that I've even discovered is even today, I still personally have to use what I'm about to show you today to hopefully help you understand how to basically control your mindset so you can get the most out of your mindset. So when it comes into controlling your mind, again, I'm going to focus on a specific acronym, and that acronym is C.E.N.T.E.R. C.E.N.T.E.R. Essentially what I want you to do more than anything else is I want you to begin to understand that you can center yourself by following this framework to then reset yourself. Because if you don't reset yourself, you'll be stuck in Groundhog's Day all over again because your brain is already predisposed to specific patterns that you've already been following again and again and again and again. Control your consciousness. What does control your consciousness mean? Well, the first thing we're going to do in order to control our consciousness, essentially what we're doing is we're taking external force that we can facilitate with our conscious mind, and we want to slow down to the point in which we can bring it back and actually identify the subconscious thoughts that drive the conscious thought. For example, if I go into a situation where I want to close a sales deal, but I feel intimidated by the people that I'm talking to, then essentially that's actually coming from a subconscious thought or a subconscious belief and not necessarily the intimidation factor of the people in which I'm supposed to be talking to. Essentially what I'm saying is to myself is what I have to offer valuable? And I can promise you, and like in this example of sales, if you're not sure about what you're selling, people pick up on that. If you're not sure about the relationship you're trying to build, people pick up on that. If you're not sure about what you're supposed to be doing with your finances, but yet you're trying to enter into a new financial circle, people pick up on that. And at the end of the day, it's going to cost you opportunities. So what we want to do instead is we want to identify the conscious thought or the conscious thing that's going on in our conscious world, right? Our waking hours. And we want to back our way into the driving forces behind it. So, what I want you to do, again, is I want you to first begin to control your consciousness. The second thing we're going to do is we're going to eliminate the anxious energy. Well, how do we eliminate the anxious energy? The easiest way to eliminate the anxious energy is to actually put your body in motion. At minimum, go out for a brisk walk. At minimum. On my most difficult days, I hit the gym and I hit it hard. And sometimes if I'm having a really stressful time or a really time in which I'm trying to break free, I will actually go to the gym a couple times. And I'm only doing that. I'm not even going there for physique. I'm not going there to necessarily build muscle. I'm going there to get rid of the energy. Because the reality is once your body is tired, it's tired. And once your body is tired, typically your anxious feelings, your emotions follow suit. The third thing we want to do is I want you to learn to name your aspirational identity. Name your aspirational identity. Why? Because if we're so focused on who we are, we'll never be who we're designed to be. By actually calling out your aspirational identity in the moment, you are also giving your subconscious, your brain, and your body, more than anything else, a chance to respond with a positive level of affirmation and empowerment when you need it most. Your aspirational identity is the person you want to be by name. Character traits, if you will. Successful entrepreneur. Outstanding dad. World-class mother. Great reader. Whatever the identity is that you're trying to do, you want to call it out as if it already exists. You even want to visualize it to a degree in your mind to make sure you can see yourself in the future version of yourself. And you'll find that the future version of yourself might be 10 or 20, even 15 years ahead of you in your mind. And if you stay focused on that, you'll probably find that that person actually comes in a lot closer within 2 or 3 years. You can actually become that very same person. All right, number 4. I want you to temper your physiology. Now, I'm going to have to put the pen down for just a second. Let me tell you what I mean by that. Tempering your physiology is a way of helping you change your ultimate state, your emotional state, the attitude, your belief, and everything tied to it. Your brain is doing one of two things at all times. It's either being programmed or you are programming it. If you are going to win at life, business, profession, relationships, finance, or whatever, it all starts up here. Seriously, think about this. What result does not come about by an action taken? And then what action happens without actually having an emotional attitude and a thought behind it? None. Therefore, the things that go in your brain, the things that you circle in your brain, the things that are using in your mindset on a regular basis are ultimately controlling the ultimate results and outcomes that you're actually going after. We have the physiology. We've got the aspirational identity. We've already done a little homework up top. We've already got rid of the anxious energy. Now it comes time to actually create an empowering attitude so we can actually take action. Okay? The empowering attitude is the opposite of the negative attitude that you probably went into that circumstance with to begin with. The reality is that life is about the experience and the journey and the person you become as a result of it, which is why you set the aspirational identity. You engage in the empowering attitude, right? And you also change your physiology to match all that. You're doing all that collectively in order to shape the actual structure of retraining your mind and body to cohabitate and work together. A lot of times the body is only doing what the mind says. When you can learn to tell your mind what to do, it'll tell your body what to do and everything behind it. Once you've done all that work, now you're really ready for the last part of center, okay? Which is to reframe your circumstance. Reframing your circumstance is nothing more than looking at the negative circumstance or the situation or whatever you're going through with a new lens. Looking at it from a perspective of opportunity rather than a perspective of loss. The longer you focus on it as a loss or something that's being taken from you or somehow it's not actually adding value to yourself, the longer it's going to take you to actually awaken the power from within, actually create the opportunity within it, learn from the experience, elevate yourself to another level, and continue moving forward. That's the one hack. That's the major hack, right? The major hack for me is always about centering. I want to get centered. I want to get centered. I want to slow the world down, and then I want to tell my brain what I want it to do. And I'm going to have my body and my attitudes and my emotions and everything behind it fall in line. Again, let's go through this real fast. Control your consciousness, right? Understanding what lies beneath so we can deal with that thought in the first place. We're going to back that up by releasing the anxious energy that's actually tied to it. We're then going to do the next phase, which is calling the new you into existence by shaping your aspirational identity, calling that by name. So now we're shaping who we are. We're now going to merge that physiology with that aspirational identity. We're going to shape it with an empowering attitude. This is where we're programming our brain. We are choosing to program here. And then after that, we're going to reframe the negative circumstance or the reason we feel stuck in the moment altogether from a level of opportunity, not a level of loss. Any roadmap for your life is better than none at all. But if you really want to catapult your life to the next level, you have to plan ahead.